Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being brave enough to have challenged the weather forecast and arrived safely and dry to Chain-Aviv number 3, edition number 3. It's a meetup that we started a few months ago, and this is our third edition, and today we're going to talk about user experience and blockchain, so big topic. So first a few words of introduction. So this meetup is organized by KZen Networks. My name is Uriel. I'm the CEO of this company. It's a recent company operating right here in our office, and we are obviously in the blockchain space. Sorry, we're building a new product that will come up to the market early next year. Building a new crypto wallet, a new generation of crypto wallet, if you know what it is. So here we are sitting at Samsung Next. We have to thank the team of Samsung Next, Dean over there, for helping us organizing that event. Big round of applause, because that looks simple and easy, but it's a lot of work. So thank you, Samsung Next, for hosting us, and Samsung Next is one of our investors. Couple of words. Yeah, by the way, we are in the process of hiring for a few positions. So if you know QA engineer, great product designers, and front-end engineer, especially who knows well Android, resumes and contacts are welcome. So tonight, what is the program? So we're going to have two main sessions. And we're going to have a keynote by Josh. Josh, raise your hand. Josh is our director of product and is going to give us a keynote on the principles of UX and blockchains. Should be very interesting. And Josh is a very talented guy, so I'm sure we're all going to learn a lot of interesting things. There will be, after that, a discussion panel. I'm not sure all the panelists have arrived. I've seen some of them. If Gil is around, raise your hand, but maybe he's going to come down a little bit later. But we have like 4 great panelists to discuss the challenge of user experience in the blockchain industry. We'll have room for questions, for comments, and for suggestions. So stick around, and obviously you'll have free time to mingle, discuss, enjoy the rest of the pizzas that will be probably a little colder in a few minutes. Just to set the tone about this evening, I just have a few words of intro on the everyone should see that about the topic of this evening, and things that are at least very important to me to understand when talking about user experience and design. The first one is that design and UX is often considered by the responsibility of one department, of one person, when I am deeply convinced that design is, everyone is a designer. Everyone can participate and should participate in the process of thinking of how to make experience of a service delightful, enjoyable by anyone. And if you think about all the great product that you love using, those companies usually have organized themselves around that principle. So obviously you'll find great product designers, great UX guys, etc. But the process of organizing the delight for a consumer or for a company around a service shouldn't be the responsibility of one person. And it's very true when you're looking at the state of the industry in the blockchain space. You're looking at a lot of services, you think, how come can they build something like that? And it's very often it's because it's not organized around this principle. They think it's someone's responsibility versus a company's responsibility. The second point is that user experience is not about cosmetics. It's about how things work. So many times there are discussions about how products look, and they should be like this, and should it be golden, and should and look blue instead of red and stuff. But really, the important thing is not the cosmetics, but more the experience. And when you're looking at successful web services in the US, for example, they're not always the most pretty to look at, right? You know, typically, for example, the one that comes to mind is Craigslist, which is really not the best design in terms of cosmetics, but very, very popular because it brings the value to the users, which is how to find something that I can buy conveniently next to my place. And finally, timing is design's best friend. So many times, no matter how talented is a company, well organized around the principles of design, if you're building something not at the right time, and I think it's very relevant to the industry we're going to talk about tonight, there is a problem. You're not matching a market fit, what's called. So you're not arriving to the market at the right time, and good design requires good timing. So if you want here, you have like 4 quadrants that will, you know, if people are old enough, will remember the examples on the left. But on the top left, you have bins. I don't know if people were old enough to be in the web industry at the times of the early days of the web. There were the very first digital coins in the internet that were like brought to the consumer, and well, obviously, you know, 20 years later was born, you know, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin could have been made like 20 years ago? Probably not. There was a lot of things that were missing. 20 years later, Bitcoin is around. In 1996, Webvan was the very first food delivery in the internet. Was one of the biggest failure ever in the industry. You know, swallowed hundreds of millions of dollars. Failed, and in 2012 arrived in Instacart. Extremely successful, super experience. And all the infrastructure were there, the mobile phone, the internet, fast internet, great experience to select products that you want. You can see them in 3D, etc. Search, of course, you know, Alta Vista, you know, if you remember Alta Vista, and then years later, Google. So it's not that they're serving different missions. They were just both doing the same thing, but very differently. And Alta Vista could not make Google because Google was building on the fact that there were many links to index when Alta Vista started, when they were just a few thousands of websites. So they were not building based on the same principle. And obviously, the most iconic company in terms of design is probably Apple. But you know, I don't know if you remember, they tried to make something that was like an iPhone. Before the iPhone was a Newton. That's the device on the left. Obviously, didn't work. And the screen, you know, was not multi-touch. It was very thick. Internet was very slow. So. Timing is important and is everything. No, that seems I think I'm done. So beyond those words of introduction, what I want to say is that timing matters, and to illustrate that, I'd like to show you a video. Maybe you've seen it on the internet. It's pretty funny. It speaks for itself. So check it out, and right after that we'll have Josh.
Perfect. I am dying out here. How much?
$1 worth of lemon coin, which is approximately 1,000 lemon coins. Whoa. Get that centralized currency out of my face. This is 2018. I only accept cryptocurrency here, preferably lemon coin.
I don't have whatever a lemon coin is.
Well, lemon coin's my utility token. It doesn't have a lot of utility yet, but we're working on it. One day it might go to $1.
Cool. I don't have lemon coin.
Fine. I'll also take Bitcoin or Doge.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'll come back for you someday.
What? You need like 200 of those.
How much is one Doge even worth?
One Doge always equals one Doge.
Okay, fine. How do I get lemon coin? Why is this so difficult?
I can sense your frustration. Think about it. It's the future of business. A trustless system without third parties. So to get lemon coin, I just need you to create an account on this third-party exchange.
I'm going to need your passport, bank info, social security number, and a selfie with today's date.
I thought you said this was a trustless system.
It is as soon as the exchange trusts you.
You could trust us. We are the #1 crypto exchange in all of Krashimia.
I don't think that's a real country.
Look,
Kremlin.
you can make this an
Croatia.
easy transaction if you just follow the protocol, okay?
Okay.
Smile. Say KYC. Okay, so this will take 3 to 5 days to process. After that, when you are approved, you will probably not be notified. So check back in a week or so.
This is ridiculous. You're telling me that if anybody wants to buy lemonade, they need to go through this process?
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the future of business. I've already got like a dozen customers.
Lemonade. Please.
Congratulations. Your account is verified, funds deposited. You have a private key. The key number is 0x225D998569. That's my favorite number. C47D19299A. Now, if you forget this private code, do not worry, you have a mnemonic phrase. The mnemonic phrase is Magna, volatile, mice, juggle, sweary, ubiquitous, nudist. Do not forget or else all your funds will be lost forever. Okay, thank you. Bye.
What? Mice? Nudists? What? Juggle? Did he just say that my funds can be lost forever?
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. It can be a little overwhelming at first.
Okay, I mean, whatever, I'm thirsty.
No, whoa, you can't just hand me lemon coin. You need MetaMask for that. Hand him the coins. You're forgetting something.
Please give me lemonade in exchange for lemon coins.
You need gas.
I need gas for lemonade?
Do you even crypto, bro? You need to get some ether to pay for the gas so that the Fox can send me the lemon coins. But you need to do this before the price jumps.
Explain this stupid process. This is ludicrous. Can I just have my lemonade now?
Right. Okay. You see, no one's made it this far yet. But
What about your dozens of customers?
Oh, okay. Maybe there were more like airdrop recipients, or But just bear with me. We'll get this figured out.
You put the lemonade in a fresh, clean cup.
Okay, we can do it your way, no problem. Like, customer's always right. But hold on, give me 1 second. I just just need to get a consensus on this transaction. It'll be real quick. Hold on.
Bring that down.
Okay, I've got 4 of 9 confirmations.
Okay. That's great.
Down to there. There's the 2.
Yeah, looks like this transaction is validated. Yeah, we're gonna have that fixed in Q1 of next year. It's already on the roadmap.
That is actually the best lemonade I have ever had.
One for the road?
Will it take days this time?
Oh no, now that you've gone through the whole process, it's so much faster.
And that's basically how dApps worked in 2018.
That seems so difficult.
I know.
Huh. But lemonade actually sounds really good right now. You want one?
Yeah.
Two lemonades?
Thanks. This is the guy.
That's him?
That's the guy I was telling you about.
What are the odds?
Haha. Can't believe he pulled it off. Well, cheers
Cheers.
to the builders.
That was a perfect intro to the current state of UX in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thank you for the warm intro, Uriel. My name is Josh, and I do product at KZen here. Just a quick background about myself. I come from the consumer space, so obviously KZen is a consumer wallet, and before then I worked at SimilarWeb in the mysterious and secretive B2C department. Most people don't know that SimilarWeb has this B2C department, but I worked on several B2C products within SimilarWeb. And before then, several startups here in Israel in the consumer space. So basically my sort of view of UX and principles is going to be sort of, in that direction, in the consumer direction. But I think that the things that I will be talking about today can be equally applied to B2B as well. So before I get started, can I just see a quick show of hands who here works currently in the blockchain industry? Okay, wow. Nice. And who here is a product designer or a designer? Okay, cool. And who here is an engineer or on the technical side? All right, very nice, perfect. It's a nice mix. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about tonight is what I call UX principles for blockchain, and with the idea of moving the industry into mass market adoption. So right now, obviously, the industry is sort of limited, and we want to move it forward. And I'm going to address what I feel is probably the number one problem in the industry today, which is basically a lack of sort of understanding of basic human behavior. Okay, this is crazy technology that's being built as we speak right now, but very little thinking and very few people, relatively speaking, in the industry who actually are taking the position from the user's perspective, be it designers or product people in general. So I'm going to address this sort of user-centric problem. And I'm going to pull in a few concepts from behavioral psychology, and I'll give you some principles, general principles, that hopefully will be also practical that you can implement in your own products in the Bitcoin space, in the blockchain space. So to get started, the first principle that I want to talk about is win the first 2 seconds. Okay. What I mean by win the first 2 seconds is not just a general analogy to onboarding in general, but I literally mean the first 2 seconds of the user's experience in your product. So the first impression, basically. And why am I talking about this specifically? Based on some research that came out of Stanford several years ago, a bunch of groups of participants got together and they watched video clips of 3 different professors teaching in the classroom, right? And each group saw different time intervals of these videos. One group saw 10 seconds of video, another group saw 5 seconds, another group saw 2 seconds of video. And as you could probably guess, their first impressions were almost identical when they were asked the question, what do you think of these professors and how good are they? Their impressions were identical, no matter if they saw 10 seconds or 2 seconds of video, okay? It's pretty interesting. But here's where it gets really interesting. There was a 4th group that attended an entire semester of class with these professors, right? And physical interactions and everything, and they were asked the same question, and again, the answers came back identical. Their impressions were identical with the people, so it doesn't matter if they spent several months with these professors or just 2 seconds, the first impression was exactly the same. So, as product designers, this is a very powerful tool, right? It allows us to, invest very minimal effort in the first 2 seconds and get overwhelming gains. To the positive side, obviously, but also to the negative side, so it's dangerous. So I'm going to show you a few examples of the first 2 seconds in crypto, and you can see for yourself. So I don't mean to pick on my Ether wallet, but this is the first 2 seconds. This is a web app. So you get here as a new user, and this is what greets you, the first 2 seconds. This is your first impression, right? So it's a combination of 20 pages to read, okay? It's a little bit sarcastic. It's saying, we know this click-through stuff is annoying. We are sorry, right? No, you're not sorry. Otherwise, you wouldn't make me do it in the first place. And it's actually instilling fear in you, right? It's like, your funds will be stolen if you do not heed these warnings, right? It's like, it's pretty scary, right? So as a user, I don't know if that's the best first impression to make. Another example is the leading decentralized exchange called IDEX. Same idea, 50 links on the page, 2 calls to action, one of which I have no idea what it even means. And all I want to do is just go watch Netflix, okay? So on the positive side, I want to show you the first 2 seconds done right? And I looked, trust me, I looked very hard in the blockchain space to find something that was a great first impression. I couldn't find it. So I took an example from the financial sector in general. I'm sure a lot of you know this product. It's Venmo, right? For those of you who don't know what Venmo is, if PayPal and Twitter had a baby, it would be Venmo, right? It's basically a payments app that is also a social network. So you can pay your friends, and you also post about it publicly. So this is the first experience when you download the app. I literally didn't even touch the screen. I just opened the app for the first time, and this is a live feed of people posting about their payments, and it's scrolling, right? So this gives me my first impression here is exactly what the core essence of the product is, right? It's showing me the product without me having to even touch the screen, right? And that's going to leave a long-lasting impression on me, as shown by the research. So this is the way to win the first 2 seconds, all right? So win the first 2 seconds. My second principle is design for animals, all right? So I'll tell you what I mean by that. So this is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. No, just kidding. Okay. This is your brain, and it's made up of 3 parts, right? The first part is the most primitive part, right? It's the part that it controls your instincts and your involuntary actions, your breathing, your heartbeat, your sweat, right? And the second part is the middle brain. It controls your emotions, right? So together, these 2 parts of the brain combine to what's called the limbic system, or what I call the animal brain. Okay, I call it the animal brain because there's really not much difference between these 2 sections of the brain and other animals, right? They have emotions, they have instincts, right? What makes us fundamentally human is this third part of the brain, and that's the rational part of the brain. It allows us to think critically, to solve problems, and to think about the future, right? So the interesting thing is how these parts of the brain interplay and communicate with each other. We like to think of ourselves as rational beings. We like to think of ourselves as rational thinkers, and every now and then our emotions might, pop up, but we say, okay, we heard you, go away. I'm rational. I'm going to make decisions based on rational thinking. But in reality, it's the exact opposite. Most of we make thousands of decisions on a minute-by-minute basis with our animal brain before our human brain even knows that there's a decision to be made, right? Our animal brain is the decision maker, okay? So as product designers, we need to make the connection with the decision maker, right? It's always better to talk to the person or entity that makes the decision, right? Most products don't do that, but I'll give you an example of a product that does. Again, sorry, not from the crypto industry. There's not many good products out there yet. But this is MailChimp, okay? Everyone probably has heard of MailChimp, but this is a user flow of sending an email campaign, okay? This screen is this is the last step in the flow, and in my personal opinion, it's the most ingenious step in any user flow out there on the internet, and I'll explain why. You have to understand about the user scenario here. So the user has maybe some guy in marketing. He spent the past week or 2 designing an email campaign. He has, he's gotten the design right. He's written the copy. He's checked it 10 times. He's making sure the links are ready. The GDPR stuff's at the bottom so they don't get sued. Everything needs to be perfect. And this might even be the first impression of a company after they ran a campaign, a launch campaign, right? So he's feeling a lot of pressure, right, and anxiety at this point in time. So MailChimp understands this, but they don't just say it. They don't just appeal to the rational thinker, right? They connect deeply with the animal brain here because they're basically visualizing their emotional understanding of the user, and even deeper than that, if you can notice the subtle sweat dripping down the monkey's finger, they're connecting with the most primitive part of the brain, the involuntary action part, the part that controls your sweat. And they're connecting with the user. And by the way, the animal brain is also the part of your brain that creates and stores memories. So if you connect with your users at this level, they will also remember you very positively. All right? So why is this relevant to crypto? Because this is every single day in crypto, this moment happens, right? Sending a transaction is exactly this moment. In crypto, you hit the send button, there's no going back. Your money is gone. So if you made a mistake, that's it. There's no bank to call, right? So every moment in crypto is like this. So if, as product designers, if we can take this model and apply it everywhere, that our products have transactions, well, it could be potentially a great win. So, design for animals. My last principle that I want to talk about is addressing core needs. So we all know the benefits of blockchain, right? It's decentralized, it's permissionless, it's secure, it's immutable, right? It's transparent, and it's trustless, right? These are the benefits of blockchain. The only thing is that nobody cares. These are all attributes of the system, of the technology, of the product. They have nothing to do with the user. I guarantee you that there's never been an average user, consumer, who woke up one morning and said, you know what, I really need a more immutable payment system. Never, right? Users care about one thing and one thing only, and that's their needs. Users have needs, and they want your product to solve them, okay? And if you do that, you'll be successful. So I'll give you a model of 6 core human needs. It's developed by a guy named Tony Robbins. Highly recommended if you want to follow him. Quickly, the 6 core human needs, and these are 6 needs that are universal, so everyone has these needs, right? Everyone has these needs, not more, not less. Certainty, you want to be safe and secure, right? Variety, on the other hand, you want to have change in your life. You want to have, spice up your life a little bit. Significance, you want to feel like you mean something. And love and connection, you want to give that feeling to others around you. Growth, you want to feel like you're going somewhere. And contribution, you want to feel like you're giving back. So I believe that every successful product hits most, if not all, of these 6 core human needs. And I'll give you an example, a classic example of Facebook, right? Facebook, you open the app, you know for certain that there's going to be content there, but you also know that it's going to be changing all the time, right? Variety. Significance, when you post something and you get those likes, it feels really good, right? Love and connection, it's obvious, you're connecting with people around you. Growth, when you read things on Facebook, you read other people's posts or click on links, you're learning things, you're growing as an individual. And contribution, you engage in conversation, you contribute back to the community. Facebook nails every single core human need, okay? And I believe that that's part of the reason why they've been so successful. I'll give you an example of another project this time in the cryptocurrency space, okay? This is Steemit, okay? This is one of the most popular decentralized applications. It's basically a social network on the blockchain. So basically the idea of Steemit is when you post content, you get paid for it, okay? But they're not saying that as the main headline. What's the main headline? Your voice is worth something. They're giving you significance. They're saying you are worth something. What they mean is get paid for content, but that's not the lead, right? They're saying you're significant. And it's interesting to compare this to Facebook's homepage. So if you go to Facebook while you're logged out, they have something very similar. And I'm sure Steemit took inspiration from Facebook as well. But on Facebook, you can see the same sort of idea. The headline is about connection. So they use the connection need, and Steemit uses the significance need, but it's very similar. So as product designers, design for these core human needs. This is what people want. They don't want to hear about immutability and decentralization and things like that. They want to hear about core, how you're going to solve their needs. So, in closing, so I just had to put this. This is the current state of blockchain, UX, right? So there's this widely renowned paper that was published a few weeks ago after DevCon 4, if anybody read it, called Web3 Design Principles. And this was touted as a breakthrough in blockchain, UX, and design thinking. This is a screenshot from that paper, and the caption underneath was user-friendly additions, right? So this is where we are in the space, unfortunately. But it's moving forward. And where we need to go, basically, is right now we're at the functional step, right? We're building the infrastructure, we're building the core protocols, making things work. And there's a lot of products also that are usable, right? But it's interesting, I speak with a lot of designers, and I ask them the question, what do you think product design is for you? And most of the time, they say it's usability. Got to make it easy to use, make it simple. But I always think to myself, you know, saying that you want to make a product that's usable is like saying that you want to start a restaurant with food that's edible. It's like, okay, you can eat it, and you probably won't get sick, but you're probably not going to be very successful at it. So the idea is to move beyond that, right? To go to user delight, to make people happy, and to give people meaning. So just to summarize, win the first 2 seconds, super important for first impressions, design for animals, not humans, and address core human needs. That's it. Thank you.
Fantastic, Josh. Thank you very much. We'll move on with the panel. So if